Hello, and welcome to this Miro tutorial for Design Think 2021. Miro is a whiteboard, a digital whiteboard that is being created for collaboration, remote collaboration, and it's free to sign up. So, in the top right hand corner there is the ability to sign up. Just enter a name, work email, and whatever password you get to choose, and we can get started right away. Or if you prefer, we have a variety of other sign in options available to you. The name is your username, and once you enter your email of choice, you'll receive a 6-digit code to begin using your Miro account. Now, what you will see when you first sign up is the domain of the email, so ontariotechu.ca or .net. It'll show other boards that have been created with that domain in mind. Now, we're going to ignore all those and instead create a new team board for us to use. Select the team, the name of the group of boards you'd like to create. And they'll ask you for a few other options ahead, but we want to make sure that we do not select the anyone with the ontariotechu.ca or the same domain as our email can join. That's what revealed those other words for. Go ahead and select what you're using Miro for, or you can ignore it if you'd rather prefer. This is just a way for them to get some more information for who uses their products. Here's where you'll have the option to invite your team members. You have two options, either inputting the emails of your team members directly, or you can just send in whatever channel you prefer a link that they can click on to sign up themselves. Now, again, similar to just they want to know what Miro would like to know, what you'd like to use the board for. In this screen, it's giving you a starting place for what tools and templates they'll show you first. So that you can get the most out of Miro itself. From research design, meetings and workshops, whichever it is, we'll just start with the first one. Now, creating a new board. This is the screen that you'll run into first, where they'll offer you a variety of templates at your disposal, many created by the Miro team, but also some from the community at large. These are starting points, places for you to, presets where you can start from, each offering its own list of tools. Some familiar, such as like Kanban frameworks, mind maps, other diagrams, and you have the option to look at what they've grouped as their use cases on the left-hand side. Or, of course, if you have an idea of what you're looking for, there's a search bar at the top to allow you to dig a little bit deeper. Each of these use cases are, again, just starting points. If at any point you don't want to use a template, we have the close at the top right-hand corner. We're going to start with the simple template at this these sticky packs. They'll give you a little preview, and then you can click on use the template. It'll populate the board for you, where you can see everything that we just added on. And this is Miro. So this is the most common Miro board you'll be seeing front, with the ability to see who's part of the team, and as we saw at the beginning, the ability to share, invite collaborators. Of course, it will ask you to name the board before you can do so. And then, as we saw before, you can either enter emails directly, or you have the option to copy a link and send that to people directly. Now, if people are part of your team, like what we saw before, you can just add them directly to the board from there, or make it that it's available for free. Now, Miro has an object-based system. Every object that you put on the board has its own set of properties that can be seen by selecting it once. Up at the top, you can see this toolbar that'll pop up for every object. That'll have a variety of functionality depending on what object is selected. Things from text size for post-it notes, the font alignment, if you want to add links, the sizing, color, tags, whatever else that you'd like to add, or the ability to lock it in place so you won't accidentally move things around when you don't mean to. along with an extra context menu at the end, with simple things of editing, copy, send to back, send to front, layer management, that sort of stuff. Um, Now, every bar is unique, and on the very left, you can actually change what type of object that it is, and from there, you'll get a brand new context menu that shows up. Whether you want to change it to be a simple text field, or something like a card that you would see on a Kanban board that you can fill in and manipulate. And often, you'll have a tutorial pop up on the right-hand side to give you a little bit more context and information about what this object is and whatever its different traits. Now, this menu you can exit out at any time in the top right, or you can set up a reminder for next time you bring up the object, so you can come back to this and view it later. Now, most objects, especially if they have a text field, can be interacted with by double-clicking on it, opening up the typing field, and then filling it as you need. After which the card can then be manipulated like any other object, clicking and dragging to move that object around the screen. These objects can then be manipulated in size using the handles on the sides of them, so you can customize the board to suit your needs. In addition to the toolbar on each object, on the left-hand side are a variety of other tools: pens, markers, comments, highlighters, things that allow you to customize the board and make it your own. These additions, once you're done drawing them, are then treated as objects like everything else, with the ability to manipulate their size or move them around as you see fit. If you hold Shift and drag across the screen, you can highlight multiple objects at the same time, allowing you to move them in place, group your objects, or then delete them if you don't find them necessary. So far, I've mostly gone over the objects that exist on the board, but the settings for the board themselves can be found in the top right-hand corner, along with a few other settings, such as the search feature, allowing you to organize what's on the board, and the guide, allowing you to bring up a bunch of the hints and tips that Miro have built in. One of the advanced features that you may want to look into while working with Miro is the Frames tool. Frames allows us to divide our space into subsections, as well as giving us a few of the standard measurements we might want to be designing for. These frames allow us to more readily group objects together, and can be manipulated as a whole. These frames can be changed in size, just like any other object, and have their own toolbar up top. The frames themselves don't do too much to change how we work with Miro. We add objects just the same and can manipulate them like we did before. Frames just act as a way to organize our thoughts, and by adding multiple frames, we can keep ideas grouped together, separate from each other. Each frame can be a group of ideas that we keep organized, or a slide that we want to present to a viewer. This really shows when we look at the advanced tools down in the bottom left-hand corner of our screen. This is where we'll find things such as voting, screen sharing, polls, comments, but more importantly, our Frames tab. We can see the frames created and their names, and by clicking on them we can zoom directly into the frame and whatever's contained within. Each of these tools will open up more information on the left-hand side of the screen, with things like the chat, comments that exist on the board, or a presentation mode that uses our frames as slides, allowing us to quickly go through our information. Now, there are a few other tools in this toolbar that aren't available with the free subscription, but that isn't to say that they're not available to us. Miro has on offer a student subscription that unlocks a lot of the features available in some of the more premium packs, and this subscription is completely free for students to use. In the top right-hand corner of our dashboard, the dashboard we get back to by clicking on the Miro, the top left-hand at any time, we can click the upgrade button. This will bring up a window with the different subscriptions available to us, but if you scroll down to the bottom, we have this option to click on if you're a staff member or student of an educational institution. Click on the link to fill out, it'll bring up its education tab, and from here, we can click to the application. The application itself is straightforward, asking for your name, your educational email, so make sure you use your .NET account, asking more about the school that you're a part of, what you plan on using Miro for, and then for proof, they will ask for a photo of your student ID. as well as a screenshot of your letter of enrollment or a confirmation of your enrollment at Ontario Tech. From the same point where we started our application, we also have the option to learn more. On the tab that opens up, an overview of the plan will be provided, from its different features, what institutions will and will not qualify, as well as an overview of what you need to do as a student in order to actually apply for the education account. Alongside the overview, you'll find an FAQ with more questions about the account. And that should be enough to get you started. Please enjoy using Miro, this powerful digital whiteboard.